Welcome! This is Solopreneur Success Strategies, where we talk about mindset, your website, your brand, your social media marketing, your customers, how to sell to your customers, how to find your customers, how to talk about the skills and knowledge you need in your business, and free software and tools to help you save time, money, and be more productive, as well as strategy and systems here on Solopreneur Success Strategies. Welcome! Welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. And today is Mindset Monday, where we talk about your mindset as an entrepreneur. And thank you for being here. And I'm Jane Gardner. And if you want to know who I am, I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm for the last 20 years over in Western Canada. And I came out onto the internet about 3 years ago to help others start their own home business. And one of the things you need to have as a entrepreneur is to have a good mindset in order to happen to struggle with the stress and challenges of being an entrepreneur. And so that's what Mindset Monday is all about. And Solopreneur Success Strategies I have as a series on 7 days. And Tuesday is all about your brand, your messaging on Get Your Message Out Tuesday. Wednesday is all about your customer and you on World Domination Wednesday. Thursday is all about your skills and knowledge as a solopreneur on Jack or Jill of All Trades Thursday. Friday is about Freebie Friday, free software and tools. Saturday is about systems that to put in your business in order to free up your time in order to do more business. And Sunday is Strategy Sunday. And that's all about your business plan and your visions and your goals. So I'm streaming this live right now because I found out that maybe if I'm streaming live right now on Google, I might get more juice. So even though it's not Monday, welcome. We'll still talk about mindsets to set you up for Mindset Monday. So far, I guess I should tell you what we've been doing. So we've been looking at the mindset of the entrepreneur for the last couple of months. We've looked at a positive attitude of the mindset of the entrepreneur, the passion of the mindset of the entrepreneur, being an action taker in the mindset of the entrepreneur. We did about 5 or 6 episodes on being an action taker, as that's one of the biggest issues on being an entrepreneur. Embracing change, as we talked about as well, on the mindset of the entrepreneur. Determination, persistence, the willingness to take failure as feedback rather than as failure. That's always good for an entrepreneur in order to continue on with your stress and your challenges. Having the big picture, having the why of why you're doing your business is always good for the mindset of the entrepreneur, especially if it's not based on your own ego, but based on your family and what you want to accomplish in your business. Having patience, but also being an action taker. So having the good patience in order to be an entrepreneur. And today we're going to be talking about the willingness to learn. And the next one will be about the willingness to listen, and share with others, which is all about mentoring. So imperfect action is always better than no action. So that's my motto. So even though I may slur my words, sorry about that, I'm keeping on. So let's keep going. So we've had a look at positive attitude, passion, action taking, embracing the change, being able to adapt to change, being persistent and keeping going even with the stress and challenges, and taking failure as feedback is always important as an entrepreneur so that you can learn from your mistakes and continue on. I call failure mistakes. I do not call them failure. And the big why. Why are you doing this? Why is your family the most important thing to you and you want to make more money for them, for example, or you want to share your passion with other people? What's your big why for being an entrepreneur? And having patience, making sure that you don't go off and focus in other directions without even testing and figuring out whether that's the right way to go in order to having good patience and being patient to see how things develop is always good as an entrepreneur, as well as being an action taker. So it's a balance between action and patience. So today we're going to be talking about the willingness to learn. An entrepreneur needs to be open to learning every day. The internet changes so quickly. Facebook changes its logarithm in one day. The next, you can't do anything with Facebook. For example, everything is changing so quickly. From 5 years ago, everything has changed, certainly on the internet, in terms of what you can and cannot do as a business person. So you always have to keep up to date with your technology as much as possible. And Google is always changing search. One day you're up number 1 and the next day you're down at number 10. So it's always good to keep up to date, or get your social media marketer keep you up to date as far as the social media goes. But certainly I'm sure in your business there's always new things happening in technology. So you have to keep up to date and take classes and take courses and always be learning. But also learning from your experience as well as learning from others. The tactics that work today could be gone tomorrow. Better to learn strategies rather than tactics, especially on the internet. So you have to be open to always learning new skills and knowledge. And that's, of course, includes on the internet, but it also includes learning from others about what successes they're having in their business. If they're your competitors, you have to be open to having discussions with your competitors and having relationships with your competitors in order to see what way the internet is going and your business may go, and what new directions may come up, what things may come up that will help you save time and money in your business. That's always good, and have to learn those things as well. And sometimes things disappear. We had a live streaming company who decided they were just canceled it one day. They said, oh, it was just beta, so we're canceling and we're going on another direction. And there were people who had started up shows on that live streaming company, and they were aware that it was beta, and they knew that it might be coming because they kept up to date, so they weren't too concerned and were able to go on to another live streaming company's service. But if they hadn't kept up to date, they would have been in trouble because they didn't have to rush around and figure out where they could go to do their live streaming. So especially on the internet, there seems to be less, less responsibility and less holding to certain values of being forward and keeping people up to date, and holding on to your guarantees. Guarantees are very important in business, and sometimes they don't always happen sometimes things don't happen in business, and some people think that just saying, I'm sorry, this isn't going to happen, it's not viable for me. Whereas when you have invested in their company and invested time in doing something with them, it can be rather annoying. So you always have to be willing to learn new skills and knowledge in your business. There are plenty of places to learn, of course. You can go to universities now. They have online courses, so you don't have to actually go to the University of Minnesota in order to learn a class from there. I went to Coursera, which is on a university campus. Sorry, I wasn't thinking what I was going to talk about, so I didn't look it up. But I did a course on gamification. And right now I'm taking a course from another person, just his own personal course on Google Analytics, because I'd like to be able to teach people about Google Analytics, for example. So you always have to be willing to learn. It is making the choice of whether you need to learn this new skill, which is the important decision you have to make. Don't get into the learning addiction trap. I was in the learning addiction trap. Sorry. I am a practicing perfectionist, and I felt that I should learn a lot of these things, since when I came onto the internet, I didn't know too much about the various marketing techniques and tactics there were. So I went and took a lot of courses and a lot of things, and learned a lot or a little, it depends how you look at it, about a lot of things, and didn't get anything forward in my business in terms of using those. So you don't want to get stuck into the learning addiction trap. You always have to think about, don't learn because a new tactic comes along, because tactics disappear. It's all about strategies that stay. Don't learn because you need to know. Don't get a course and let it gather dust. Always be willing to learn new things. But ask yourself first, is this really relevant to my business? Is learning this skill going to move my business forward? To be successful when learning in your business, use these 4 principles. 1. Focus only on skills relevant to your goals. Don't go off learning a new skill about learning how to monetize Pinterest if none of your customers are going to be on Pinterest. You always have to know where your customers are hanging out, as well as knowing what direction and focus your business is going to be. And you can adapt, certainly, and change if you feel it's valid, but focus only on skills that are relevant to your goal. Be specific on what you want to learn and why. Ask yourself a question when you see a possible course. Why do I need this course, for example? Well, I already had, for example, I looked at the Google Analytics course, and I was quite excited to see that I could be certified as a Google Analytics expert by Google if I take the course, and then I could teach others how to read their Google Analytics. Because, of course, as a business person, you should really know what your Google Analytics are, but your analytics are doing. But anyway, that's another story. And you always should finish what you started. So luckily for me, this teacher has learned the right way to do a course, and each day he sends me an email saying, you're on video number 4, this is what's it about. So now I know I'm behind by video 3 and video 4, and I should catch up and actually do the work. Whereas sometimes you can get a course and you never finish it. So keep that in mind. Before starting something new, always finish the course that you're doing right now. So I'll be finishing my Google Analytics course. And 4, apply everything you have learned. So once I've finished my Google Analytics course and got my certificate, I will be putting it up on my website as one of my credentials, and of course go out there and say I can help you with your Google Analytics. So apply everything you have learned whenever you learn something, rather than learning something and not using it later and letting it sit there in your brain. So also apply everything you have learned to real life, whether it's your work or your personal. So of course you can use the idea of Google Analytics, taking that course, and I can apply it as making it a priority to myself to always remember to look at my analytics for anything that I do, whether it's in Google or otherwise, in terms of my business. I'm not too sure it's applicable in my personal business, but it's certainly applicable in my work business. As an entrepreneur, you can focus on learning a new skill if you can answer whether it is an asset to moving your business forward. So is this thing that you're going to be learning, is that going to be something that will be an asset in your business that you can use and adapt and implement? My lovely word I love is implement in your business. So when you're going to decide whether you're going to put down that money for that course. Is it going to be an asset to move my business forward? Or is it just something that is going to be a sideline, something that I don't think I'll be able to use in my business? Then maybe I shouldn't go forward and do it. Well, as you can imagine, I have another asset which has helped me do this presentation, and it's an ebook called From Learning to Business Success. And you are welcome to have this free workbook, From Learning to Business Success, at jgtips.com/learn to help you focus on your priorities when learning. It has some discussion about how not to get sidetracked, as well as some of the habits that you can create so that you're always focused in your learning. But as well, it has the workbook where you can look at putting down your priorities for the year, what you need to learn, and how you're going to achieve that, for example. So that's my free workbook at jgtips.com/learn. I thought it was a great book, and I'm using it myself every year, I think. So, and for those of you who'd like to develop your success mindset, I have a free book at jgtips.com/SMINDSET. Feel free to go there and sign up. Those of you who sign up will, of course, get many other information on your mindset and how to improve it as an entrepreneur. And you can subscribe to my Solopreneur Success Strategies channel at jgtips.com/YouTube, or even look at some of the previous episodes there under Mindset Monday. So thank you for listening. This is Jane Gardner, and thank you very much. I think we'll be looking at Willing to Learn from Others next week, and I bet I'm going to have more than one episode on that one, because that, of course, is called mentoring, as well as sharing with others, being the mentor and the mentoree. I think that's right. So see you next week. Thank you for listening. This has been Jane Gardner at Solopreneur Success Strategies. Please go and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs, and also to find out about other programs as well over at jgtips.com/programs. And over there we have a free mindset magazine for you to check out at jgtips.com/mindset offer. So welcome. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow, as this is a 7-day-a-week show on mindset, your customer, getting your message out on social media and on your website, talking about strategies, talking about business systems, talking about all kinds of things, including the skills that you need as a solopreneur. So please come back and subscribe at jgtips.com/programs. Thank you.